Greetings fellow girls, guys and gamers, this is Small Archangel welcoming you back to another episode of ARK Scorched Earth. It is day 52 of this save game and we are now level 75, so not quite at the peak of our possibilities just yet. And of course we're expecting another update very, very soon, which is going to bring all sorts of really exciting stuff with us. At the time that this is released, that update will already have come out because I do operate my channel on a pre-record basis. But it does mean that soon our hair mod, which you can't see very well in here anyway, it's kind of sort of it's transparent in the user interface, but our hair mod here is going to be obsolete because, among other things, we're going to have real-time hair growth mechanics plus the ability to cut our hair and dye it. So that's going to be kind of exciting, although it has to be said that that will then surely immediately be covered up by any headgear that we are forced to equip by circumstances. So I'm not sure about that one. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure if our mullet or whatever we choose to wear is going to be visible when we have our headgear on. So that's one thing. And I thought the other thing I'd mention quickly is about the tech tier stuff, which obviously is what most people are anxiously awaiting. But for me, I think, or for anybody in single player, I think it's not going to be valid whether you're playing the ARK or itself, or Center Map, or Scorched Earth, or whatever you're playing, because the fuel for all of that higher tier technology is going to be Element, which we're only going to get by dropping bosses, and I'm not going to be doing that solo, I don't think. In any case, it seems from what I've seen of the kind of stuff that's available, you know, sort of laser headwear for T-Rexes and jetpacks and all the rest of it, and power armor, seems like the kind of thing that's going to be more use in PvP scenario anyway. So tribes, go to it, those single players. Probably not so much. But of course it's going to bring out some new creatures as well, which I'm looking forward to. I'm particularly looking forward to the Equus, to be honest, because it looks cool. What not to like about a prehistoric horse. All my other mounts, fantastic, they really are, but an actual horse, and it just looks fab. So I'm liking the sound of that. Whether that will come out with patch 254 or whether we'll have to wait a little bit longer for that one, I'm not sure. And then there is something that's going to definitely benefit us here in Scorched Earth, and that is that the drop quality, the loot drop quality, is going to apparently, according to the devs, be significantly increased. So I am looking forward to that. I have got myself a few blueprints from drops. I've got one that's an apprentice blueprint and one that's whatever the next tier up from primitive is. Neither one of them's particularly impressive, put it that way. And other than that, really meh. There's not a lot going for them at the moment. So I'm looking forward to that. Black pearls dropping in them would be particularly good, because that's something else I'm not sure I'm going to be able to benefit from. I've learned the camera engram requires black pearls. Black pearls only drop from really quite sort of high-end creatures, including one that lives in the ocean. We haven't got any ocean here in Scorched Earth, so not sure about that one either. Much as I'd like to be able to use the camera, I may never get to that. So there you go. That's the next the next patch, big patch update, which is going to change a lot of things. That apparently is coming well, a couple of days hence at time of recording. Now, last episode, you'll remember, we made ourselves on a fabricator. We made ourselves a wind turbine. Here it is. Wind turbine. Yes, I've got a bunch more obsidian since then. We made ourselves a wind turbine, and I said I'm going to wait a little bit and do a bit of research on that before I just go planting it willy-nilly. And boy, am I glad I did, because here's the ARK map. We've got the Scorched Earth map in front of us here, so we can see where we're at. Our base, which you can also see from my map marker there, is where I've marked in red. Where I've marked in cyan, that is part, I couldn't be bothered marking the entire map, thank you very much, but that is part of the wind in this region. Basically, we have a wind map which dictates how well our generators function depending on where we are on the map. The only place where our wind turbines will generate electricity for us 100% of the time is in the exterior zones where the ocean would be if we were on the ordinary map, but all the way around the outside is 100% 100% out in the sand dunes. I don't know if that's going to stay the case. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but at the moment, certainly 100% wind there, so your turbines will work all of the time. In the mountainous regions, which we can see down the left-hand side of the map there, and probably sort of kind of to the right a little bit as well, if I can recall, we have 85% wind. In the canyon down the centre of the map there, we have 65%. Pretty much everywhere else is 20%. And guess where we are? 20%. You got it. Most of the low-lying regions where you would actually choose to build your base, 20%. So 20% of the time, your jennies are going to be creating electricity for you, which is pretty poor, as I'm sure you don't need me to tell you. That's only going to be out of every 24-hour period. What are we going to have? About 8 hours, not even 8 hours of worth of electricity, something like that. It's going to be pretty poor anyway. So that's not ideal. Even in an 85% zone, which you can see our base is close to, even an 85% zone, we're going to have at least 3 hours of downtime each day when our electricity is going to go down, our fridge is going to go off, and all the rest of it. Nonetheless, I would like to plant a turbine if we possibly can, so that is what we're going to do today. The other thing to mention is that wind generators, not wind generators, normal generators, gasoline generators. Yes, we could have some of those, but here in Scorched Earth, they take damage to do with heat conditions and also sand. And yeah, it's entirely true that in point of fact, if sand gets into electronic or mechanical things even, it deteriorates them and does trash them. But as things stand, you can't even place a generator inside a structure, or placing AC units all the way around the outside of it also will make no difference, which means that you are constantly having to repair your generator. We may end up having to place a generator as a backup for our turbine anyway, and that's fine. We'll do that if we have to. But mostly, I want to be able to rely on the turbine. And I want to be able to rely on the turbine 85% of the time. So, you can see from the red dot there, we actually have our base here. And you can see where my cursor is, 20% wind. So that is telling you exactly what the wind conditions here are. Now, if I show you where the 80% wind begins, and in-game you can actually hear it. You can't over the sound of my voice, obviously, but in-game you can actually hear the sound of the wind. So if I go into the 85% wind zone, which is just here, we can hear a little bit of wind. Not lots, but a bit. 85%. Here we go. And that is not far from our base at all. No, it's not. Is it, Jugbug? No, it's not far at all. And the closest part, I think, is here, where we have this kind of, where this sort of mesa sort of sticks out in this corner. So you can see where we are now, 20%. But if I take a couple of steps back, 85%. Now let's see, how close can we actually get to this? 85%. 85%. Here's 20, I think. Yes, it is. There we go. Okay, now there's a couple of ways that we could do this, I suppose, when it comes to planting our turbine. Oh, by the way, there's no point in planting several turbines. They will all go off at exactly the same moment. Oh, look, that parasaur's still up the tree. How ridiculous. Devs. Yeah, there is no point in us placing 5 wind turbines. That will not increase the amount of power we get whatsoever. Certainly not for me, when I'm only going to want to run a fridge and a few lights, basically. So we could just plant our turbine right here, facing into the wind over that way. That just seems RP to me. It doesn't actually matter which way the thing faces, just whereabouts it is. Or we could build a structure with foundations or pillars or whatever, so that our foundations sort of stick out from the side of this mesa, so it's on the same level as our base. Now, that is not going to make any difference at all to the turbine. As long as it's in the 85% zone, it makes no odds how high or low it is. Those mountains over there are also 85%. So no difference building a turbine on top of the mountain, and there's no point anyway, because we have a limit of 29 cable lengths, or rather 29 foundation distances, and after that the electricity stops flowing. Basically, it can go along 29 lengths of cable, and that is it. So we want it as close as possible. And I'm not absolutely certain whether that means that if we have cables going up, they count as to the distance, even though if they were vertical, they wouldn't technically be going any distance from the generator, from the turbine. I don't think they do. I think it's flat distance that we have to count there. But yeah, that's not an easy one to judge. Hence me wondering whether we should build a structure, but I'm not sure I can be bothered. It might actually be really quite technically difficult to do that. So I'm not sure. I think maybe it's going to be better for us to just plant our turbine down here and then get cables going up there. But one thing I am going to do, and I have mentioned this previously, I'm using the S Plus mod, and thus far all the structures I've placed, and well, all of the items that I've placed have just been normal ones, apart from the ones that come from the RP Deco mod. You can pick those up. But there is such a thing as a Structures Plus workbench, which will allow us to place structures which we can then pick up, or rather objects which we can then pick up. Now, mostly I don't see why I would wish to if it was something huge like a fabricator, for example. That doesn't seem very realistic. But I would like to be able to, for example, place cables and then pick them up again, because it seems ridiculous that I put a cable on the ground and I can't pick it up again. That just seems really strange to me. Here we go. Metal ingot, stone, wood, hide. Okay, it's not very expensive to craft. Metal ingot, stone, wood, and hide. We've got any ingots in there. We've got wood. We've got not much stone. And we will place our crafting station over here by our other crafting stations, preferably not clipping through the wall. That would be favourite. There we go. Okay, and then if we look in here, we can see quite a lot of things. Not everything. There's not everything by any means that we can sort of place. Let's see what we have. I think we're going to have to learn the engram for cables, because I don't think we've currently learned the engrams for those. So let's just have a look in here. We've got loads of points to spend at this point. Not a problem. Can't spell. Cables. There we go. So we're going to need straight cable. We learned it. Okay, requires electrical generator. Oh, no. Okay, so we're going to have to, as I say, we're probably going to have to place one of these anyway, so that's fine. Cable will, straight electrical cable, inclined electrical cable, vertical, and we'll also have the intersection. And then we'll learn the S Plus variants, because that means we're going to be able to learn, we're going to be able to craft those on our new bench here, which means that then we'll be able to pick them back up again. Something tells me this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Basically, we're going to have an awful lot of toing and froing to do to get this straightened out, to get things where we want them. We want metal ingots. That's all we need there is metal ingots. At some point, we're going to need to learn the engram for an outlet as well, actually. So let's just do that while we think of it. Electrical outlet, and we'll learn the S Plus variant for the same reason. There we go. And I'm just hoping by the time we get through all this, we're going to have what we need. Oh, am I nailed to the floor now? Virtually, yes. There we go. Let's just take half of those and put them in there, and then the other half can go in here. I'm just concerned that we're going to get all this done and then find that actually our cables don't actually reach to our fridge after all, which would be annoying in the extreme. So we're going to need quite a lot of these, I think. We're probably going to be better off with diagonal 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like 6 or 7 of those, and then we're going to need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a complete guess. I have no idea. I'm probably going to have to keep coming in here and making more of these, and I'm going to make a couple of those as well, because that's gonna be the only way we can get our cable to go sideways a little bit. Okay, those are done. So as I say, fairly short. We're gonna have to make some more of those at some point. Okay, so from back here we can see. They make a funny noise, those things. We can see the back end of our smithy building, and we don't really want the cables to end up going straight into our buildings. We want them to go alongside or around the back of. We don't want them ending up going through the buildings. So we want to be a bit careful about where we place this turbine. So I'm just going to put that in there. And this turbine is not one that you can replace. It's not an S plus one. And that's how I want it, because frankly, you can't pick up something that big. I'm amazed that I'm even... Will you buzz off? Look, if I take your water, will you buzz off and leave me alone? Thank you very much. Okay. Because I'm not going to be able to pick it. It's amazing I've even got the thing in my pocket right now, isn't it, really? It's quite strange and stupid. So we're going to go as close as we can to the edge of here. We've got our tree behind us. Stupid bug. And still be in the 85% zone. We're still in the 85% zone here. I'm going to get this. Now, obviously, to be in the 85% zone for sure, it's going to have to occupy the space we're currently standing in. So I'm just going to go a little bit closer still if I can. We're still in the 85% zone. And this, obviously, that's 85% zone still, but that's where I'm standing. So basically, we're going to have to place the generator exactly where I am standing. Is this... If I go that way, yeah, we'll be a little bit too... Okay, so which way is this thing actually facing? I want it facing this way. And I'm actually going to go backwards a little bit. I feel like I'm placing this blind. I really can't actually see where I'm putting it. There we go. For better or worse, we've planted it. Well, there's our wind turbine going round and working, but downtime for wind turbines seems to be, from what I can gather, pretty much the same no matter whereabouts in Scorched Earth you are. They all go off at 11 o'clock. Game time, I assume, and don't come back online again until, well, that depends on whether you're in 85% zone or 65% zone. If you're in 100% zone, they shouldn't go down at all, but they might still if there's an electrical storm. So that is the reality of the situation, and so we're probably going to have to place at some point a generator into this circuit too as a backup for when this one goes down, which it inevitably will do, and it will do so shortly, I think, because we're not too far off 11 o'clock now. And then when it does, hopefully it shall only be off until 3 p.m. We shall see, though, because we are very much on the edge of the 85% wind zone. You can see here it says 20% wind. And if I climb on top of the generator, we're still in 20% wind. No, that's not good. Okay, let me just go here. 85% wind. You see, so technically we're in 85% wind, but only just. So I'm going to be biting my nails on this one, waiting to see if it really truly is 85% or 20%, because we are literally right on the cusp here. It's extremely difficult to tell. So 85% wind, you see there, and 85% wind here when I'm standing on top of it. No, not 85% wind there. That's, yeah, we're not going to be able to do anything more with that right now. So what we need to do is get the cables going. And at the moment, obviously, the wind generator is going round, which means that we're going to be able to actually see whether these cables are powered or not. But as soon as 11 o'clock strikes, if this thing stops, we're then going to have downtime, so we're not going to actually see whether the cables are powered or not, and it's going to be extremely difficult to tell. So I just want to place a few of these. Now I think we're going to need to go vertical. You'll see I've actually crafted some vertical pipes. Cables, because I thought we'd need them. Looking at how this is... Oh, now, can I jump that high to get that? Yeah, just about. And the other one, I don't think I'm going to be able to reach that, am I? I'm not going to be able to climb this cliff face to get that. I might need a bird to help me to finish that off. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it any other way, really. So, yeah, you can see why I'm using Structures Plus cables, because if we want to put a generator in at some point, then we're going to need to take one of the bits of cable out, probably in order to add that to the circuit. Let's just take the slower bird, Copernicus, because if I take Ava, she's got quite a bit of speed now, and she'll actually move too fast. So I want to get an electric cable here, and we just need to place that on top of there. Only his body's in the way, so I can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay, can we just get you to hover a little bit further over this way? No, we can't. Okay, this could take a little while, folks. This could be a little bit fiddly. There we go. Do I have another one of those? Yes, we do. Oh, go on. Place it. No, you want to. Okay, for some reason, I'm not able to place it. No snap point. Now, that's just nonsense, isn't it? In real life, of course. Oh, that nearly got it. In real life, of course, my bird here would be getting massacred by my turbine. There we go. Okay, just about managed it now. Another welcome change in the 254 patch. Of course, there's going to be the ability to get off a dinosaur the side you choose to get off it. That is definitely going to be a boon, especially when you live on top of a cliff. Okay, so this... We just need to get our straight sections going as far along here as we can. Look at that. We've done that pretty good, haven't we? That is really quite close, actually, to here. Now, our turbine is still going round, and the time is 11:55. I don't know. There's probably a little bit of variation in that. But for the moment, I'm pleased about that. No, we don't want 6. We want a straight section. There we go. I'm pleased about that because that means that I'm going to be able to see what I'm doing with these. Because at some point, the power is going to go from these. And at that point, we're going to really need... That's midday. Nope, not yet. At that point, oh, we've run out of straight sections. We're going to need to make some more straight sections of cable there. So I'm going to need, I think, at least another one, and then we'll perhaps be able to sort of incline it downwards. But basically what we want to do is get this cable to go as close to the back wall of the house as we possibly can. Okay, so maybe this is the point at which we need to add... Ah, is that still yellow up there? I can't honestly tell. I think so. I think we're still powered here. I think we need to add one of these. We need to add that. And is that still powered? It looks like it. I think maybe we need another one of those. And then... We need a straight one, or do we need one that's actually coming downwards? Let's try a descending one. Get one to descend in this corner. Will that be enough? Or maybe we need to descend it there. There we go, maybe. Oh, come on, get up there. And that is still powered, which is awesome. So that's pretty much exactly where we want it to go. We're going to need to make an outlet to put on there to just get some food from Copernicus. He's got me some meat there. I'll have both of those. So unfortunately, I fell off him earlier, so that kind of hurt. Okay, so we're going to need to make an outlet. In fact, let's take the bird back, because you belong up there, don't you? There we are. Oh my goodness, you need. See, I nearly just fell off him again. I'm really looking forward to being able to dictate which side we jump off. And I'm making myself some more ingots in here as well, because of course we're going to need that. And some more gasoline for the fabricator. Okay, so we need to make ourselves an outlet. Electrical outlet. Now for this... maybe I should just make an outlet via the fabricator, because the fabricator requires gasoline, whereas of course that table does not, which is a little bit cheaty somehow. So compositions, no. Structures, electrical. Outlet, we need metal ingots and wood. So I'm going to go grab some metal ingots. I don't know how many of those we actually need. I didn't pay it enough attention. And we need some wood, so I'll grab a full stack of that. And here we go. Metal ingot, structures, electrical, that's it, that'll do. Turn on, craft, and just one at this point will do. There we go. Okay, turn that off. And see if we can place this. Because if we can do that, then we're good to go with a fridge. At long last. Come on. Okay, so my outlet is here. And we're really hot. Now, I'm guessing that's going to be a perfectly adequate place to place it. We're not going to need to put it... Oh, come on. Come on. We're not going to need to put it any closer to the wall than that. And in point of fact, we can't put it any closer to the wall than that, can we? Another diagonal downwards would put it somewhere quite strange. Would put it straight through the floor, which is not exactly ideal. I suppose we could, yeah, we can see that's working. It's sparking in an alarming kind of fashion. Now all we need to know, because that is pretty close to this wall here, which is, I'm fairly sure, where I want to place my fridge. The preserving bin is occupying that spot right now, but I'm planning on putting the fridge here and the preserving bin here next to the door. So for now, I guess the next thing to do is to see if we can make ourselves... Yeah, we can walk underneath those. Now, with the S+ ones, you can actually conceal them as well. But I'm not sure I want to do that, partly because that's not the way the game's designed, partly because if I can't see them, how the heck am I going to know where they are to replace them and things? So we're going to go and see if we can make ourselves a fridge. Now, I'm pretty sure we only can make a fridge from here, and I don't remember if I've actually... I don't remember if I've learned the engram yet. Let's just have a look at that first, shall we? I'm pretty sure I have. Refrigerator. Ah, that's why. Learn engram. It's learned. Okay. Crafted at fabricator. Yes, so it's in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. So we're going to need metal ingot 120 plus 10 electronics. So we're actually going to need to make 3 more electronics. So let's see if we can do that first. Electrical composition. Components. We need to make some of those. Turn on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're going to need a lot more metal ingots than we currently have. I think we've got a bunch of them in here. Yes, we have. Now, can I move? Just about, yes. So we'll put those in here too. There we go. In we go. And structures, electrical, no. Electric, fridge, craft. All right, there we go. Fridge. And then we're going to have to learn some engrams for lighting and what have you. But for the minute, we've got a couple of spare bits of cable here. So for the moment, I'm just going to place them back in the fabricator. Then we know where they are. I might figure out a better place to put them later on. But for the minute, that will do. It's as good a place as any. And then, and this is kind of the moment of truth, are we going to be able to find... Are we going to be able to place this fridge and have it function? Now this has got a lot of stacks of meat and things in it because I've been going mad with the industrial grill, and every time I come back from a hunting trip of training my raptors and what have you, basically what I do is shove everything through here. Oh, apparently we've got some sort of storm coming. Knowing my luck, it'll be an electrical storm and it'll whack my generator out, but apparently the best cure for that is to just reload. So I don't know, really, do I want to take all of this lot out of here? Yes, realistically I have to, but I now can't move, so I can't in point of fact do that. So we're gonna have to think of something better to do there. I'm gonna have to move some of this stuff to somewhere else. Okay, so I have now emptied this completely, which means that I can now demolish it. There we go. I've emptied it into the cupboards around here, basically. And I've also placed the fridge in this cupboard here. So we're going to place the fridge now where we intended to, except that it says it can't. Oh, no, don't do that to me. And we have a heat storm going on. Yeah, which is fantastic, obviously. Okay, let's see. How close can we actually get this into the corner without it clipping through? Because it really bugs me when stuff clips through. I don't think it will allow it to clip. And I think we're probably going to have to move this salt thing as well, because realistically it's kind of blocking my fridge at the moment. And the fridge is working. Yay! The fridge is powered. Get in! Right, now I'm going to have to get as many of my items back in there as we possibly can. You are encumbered. Oh, I always forget how blooming heavy eggs are. Let's try that again, shall we? Okay, there we go. Our fridge is now operational and full of stuff. I'm probably going to have to shift that. We can't put preserving salts in the fridge. We are going to need to put a new preserving bin there, so that's the next thing we should do. Heat or no heat? Where's my water thing? Let's just take a bit of a drink and head off up here. I'm going to make a new preserving bin to replace the old one. Oh my goodness, last thing I need to be near that when it's kicking off. Let's just see. We need craftables, fridges, preserving bin, stone, wood, thatch, fibre. There we go. We just need the one, thank you very much. And that, of course, is going to have most of my meat in it, or at least some meat in it, in order for us to be able to be crafting jerky. That is why we still need the preserving bin. That and anything really valuable that we don't want going as a result of our power outages, which are almost inevitable. Okay, so I'm going to place the preserving bin right next to the fridge there. Is that straight? Yeah, straight enough, I think. We obviously need to power it with... now, where did my spark powder go? We've got some there. Okay, there we go. So I haven't absolutely rammed the preserving bin. It's just got a few stacks in it, and we're going to eat some of that ourselves, I think, because we're a bit hungry here. So I'll have a bit of that. There we go. Excuse me. And I'm probably going to put that salt, I'm going to have to move that to probably here. That's going to look better. I've got salt kegs absolutely everywhere, full of salt. This is the oldest one here. And it's still going to take 100 million years to rot in these pots, which is why I've got a house full of them. But that one, yeah, that one is kind of in the way. So yeah, there we go. So that's pretty much it for this episode. It's been a little harrowing trying to get our electrics working, but we're kind of there. I've done the most important thing here in the desert, which is basically to plug in our fridge. We've got... obviously, if there's 29 foundations worth of... There's probably not as much as 29 foundations worth of cable in between us and our turbine. Is the turbine still running? Out of interest. I have yet to see with my own eyes whether it will stop and how often it will stop. So we shall see about that. But it's still running now at 5, nearly 6 p.m. And I dare say electrical storms will play havoc as well. So at some point we're probably going to want to put a generator in between here, probably out the back of our smithy here. But also I'm thinking having some cable going down here, possibly from this joint here. Can we get one going in this direction? Probably not, to be honest. But having some outputs here as well, and being able to put some electrical lighting in would definitely be something that I'd want to add as well. But for now, I'm happy to have a fridge up and running at least. I only want some external lighting anyway, because as things stand, internal lighting, well, the electric lights are way too bright. They're more like floodlights, so you wouldn't want them inside your house, no matter what, I don't think. But anyway, so it's a complicated old business, this electronics and electrical stuff and power, and particularly in Scorched Earth, because of the electrical storms and because of spoilage being higher and the wind zones and what have you. But I hope that if there's anybody out there that hasn't encountered this yet, I hope this video has been vaguely informative on that subject. And yeah, it's come off rather better than I thought it might do, actually. My cables look just about as stupid as all my water pipes do, but I guess that's almost inevitable. There's not a lot we can realistically do about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, leave me any comments that you like as well. And hints and suggestions are always welcome also. And I do hope you'll join me for the next episode. I may or may not have added some electric lights in the meantime, and as I say, probably placing a generator somewhere for when our turbine goes down, because it will, is going to be the next logical step. So, I hope you'll join me for the next episode of ARK Scorched Earth. Until then, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye-bye for now.